any Avenged Sevenfold fans out there who've been keeping up with them on their latest tours, you'll have noticed that guitarist Synyster Gates has been playing something a little bit different to his usual Schecter signature guitar. The longtime Schecter artist revealed a brand new headless version of his signature guitar, and today I've actually managed to get it in my hands because, believe it or not, this has sold out every single time it has landed in Guitar Guitar. This is the Schecter Synyster Gates Custom 6 TRS headless model in satin black. Unfortunately, I didn't have the really cool gold version that he has because, believe it or not, it sells out before I even managed to get my hands on it. So, as somebody who grew up in that sort of era of metalcore where Avenged Sevenfold were making their kind of breakthrough along with bands like Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine, I'm going to have a great time on this. This thing's already set to drop date. I'm going to be playing some riffs on it. If you do just want to hear those sounds, I've split the video up into chapters. You can check that out just in the description below. But while you're down there, give us a subscribe to keep up with all the latest news at Guitar Guitar. But let's just jump right in. So let's get the major differences out of the way first. The first one that I don't think I even need to tell you, but this guitar is headless. Now, first impressions of it, usually a headless guitar, it's going to be really light. It's going to kind of be super ergonomic to play. Now, this thing is really easy to play, but because it is made out of a mahogany body with a maple center there, it's definitely not the lightest headless that I've ever played. If anything, it still feels like quite chunky, and obviously that kind of classic Avenger sort of style. I'm pretty sure that's what the classic Schecter was called. You can let me know down in the comments before Synyster Gates obviously took it over. But it's still got the big horn here. It does have like that little, I say little, it's quite a big cutout of that there, which obviously is to kind of like help with the balance, help with the weight and all that sort of stuff. But let's get some more tones out of it first before I give you some more specs, because this thing's made to be riffed on. All of that chunk and all of that tone provided, of course, from the Schecter USA Synyster Gates 6 pickup that is in the bridge of this guitar. And for the past couple of years, he's actually been doing this new setup, certainly from when I grew up with them in the City of Evil era. But he has opted to use a sustainiac in the neck with all of his guitars. Now, this is for certain solos. This is for certain parts in their songs. But for anyone that doesn't know what a sustainiac is, let me just show you. If you've ever used an E-bow before, that's exactly what a sustainiac pickup is doing. Once you activate that switch there, that's what's actually going to activate the sustainiac pickup. And it does something with magnets. I'm not going to begin to explain exactly what it is, but it essentially means that the string just rings kind of consistently. There's a couple of different options on it as well, and let me kind of go through each of them there, and I'll take off the effects that I had. So Once we switch it on, and once the actual pickup's been activated, you hit a note. I can just let that go on and on and on. Now, the other two settings that you get with it as well. The one in the middle is almost kind of like an octave up, you know, it'll give you that sort of higher register. And then the third one I can really only describe as like a feedback sort of setting. That's why I stuck a little bit of delay and reverb on that as well, because you can get some really, really cool sort of soundscapes with that if you want to, especially if you're like flicking in between like the feedbacker and just like your regular one. Now you would have seen me using that locking trim on the bridge as well, which is a hip shot locking bridge with the corresponding, obviously, lack of headstock lockers up there. Now it's much the same way as like a Floyd Rose, you just use the Allen keys to lock the strings up the top here, but of course you don't have any machine heads to tune it, so you're going to be using all of these little micro tuners just at the bottom. Now it's made easy as well with this guitar because with the additional switches for the Sustainiac, Synyster, I guess I call them, it's opting just for the one volume there and a three-way selector, which the Sustainiac is actually a single coil in the neck as well, which actually sounds really, really cool. Some of the other features that I think are quite cool in this guitar lie in the specs. So we've got 24 extra jumbo stainless steel frets on an ebony board there with an Ultra C skinny neck. Now this thing is super easy to play. You can play this absolutely all day. 16-inch radius on there as well, so it's nice and flat, good for obviously all those good chunky riffs on there. Now, other than that, you know, it's a pretty kind of bare bones guitar, especially with the omission of some of the body parts as well of it. Certainly, if you're looking for something like that's a big kind of standout metal-y piece, I think anyone who is a metal fan is probably going to recognise this as Synyster Gates' signature model. But it can do a kind of, you know, surprisingly amount of extra sounds, you know, especially if you're incorporating that single coil in the neck. So that's about it for the Schecter Synyster Gates custom TRS 6-string. There is a 7-string version available in this that he has been playing on tour as well, so if anybody does want to play any of that new Avenged Sevenfold stuff, then you should check this out. But let me know what you think about the brand new Synyster Gates signature model down in the comments below, and while you're there, give us a like and a subscribe because you can keep up with all the latest news at Guitar HQ. But until next time, I've been Kieran, and I've just been living my early 2000s metalcore fantasy with this brand new Schecter Synyster Gates signature model. Have a great day.